Welcome back to Harmonize Your Life, Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast with your host, Dr. Toni G. Alvarado. We'll be right back with my next guest after this. Well, I am so delighted to have with me in the podcast studio today a phenomenal woman that I know that you are going to be blessed by when you listen to our conversation on today. I am so delighted that Terri Crook is our podcast guest on today, and Terri is a phenomenal person to know and to hear from in our conversation. Let me just read you a little bit about her bio, and when I read her bio, you'll understand why I invited her to be a part of our podcast conversation. So Terri Crook is an international speaker that has transformed the lives of women by empowering them to get their second wind. And I like she got win and win, like a D on the end. I love that. She delivers unforgettable workshops through her message of "It's only halftime. You're still in the game," and has helped countless people to develop a game plan to start living their dreams despite their age or circumstance. So much so, she is now labeled the Dream Coach. She has appeared on stages with renowned speakers such as Arun Gandhi, the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, Ed Bacon, one of Oprah's Super Soul Sunday conversationalists, Les Brown, the international speaker and trainer, and the late Gwendolyn Goldsby Grant, noted psychologist and former contributing writer for Essence magazine. She was recognized by President Obama with a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for her philanthropic, community, and outreach services. Terri is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and is a living proof of her book, "It's Only Halftime. You're Still in the Game." She will get you off the bench and get you back in the game. I also want to note that Terri is the president of the Atlanta chapter of the Women of Color Empowerment Institute, of which I am delighted to be one of the charter members of that chapter. Terri is a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal speaker, and she's just a genuine sister. That's what I love about her. She's real. And so will you help me welcome Terri Crook to the Harmonize Your Life podcast family. Welcome, Terri.
Hey. I'm just so excited to be here.
I am so delighted to have you with us on today. So, Terri, you know, this is a lifestyle podcast. And one of my concerns for women is the issue of occupational wellness. When we study the wellness wheel, we understand that health and wellness should touch at least 6 areas of our lives. We look at physical wellness or physical health, spiritual health, mental health, and some, I would say, mental/emotional health, our relationships, our finances, all those things. And then one aspect of wellness that a lot of people do not consider is the area of occupational wellness, meaning finding satisfaction and fulfillment in our work, finding a sense of purpose and destiny in our lives. One of my favorite books is the book "Whistle While You Work" by Robert Shapiro and Richard Leader, and they talk about the idea of understanding your purpose, and they've done a lot of work. They're coaches, they're leadership coaches, and they've done a lot of studies. And one of the things they have discovered in their work is that the greatest fear that most people have is not the fear of death. The number one fear is not the fear of death, and you would think it is, that people are afraid to die, which most people are, and that is in the top 5 fears that people have. But it's not number one. What they have discovered in their research is that what people fear the most is not death. What people fear the most is dying without fulfilling their purpose.
Yes.
And so that thought and the thought of occupational wellness, tapping into our purpose and destiny, and particularly when we get to what you term halftime. When we get to, I'm going to be 58. I'm 58 this month. I'm 58 years old. May 16th. It's my birthday, and I'm 58 years old. And so this is definitely halftime for me. But I know so many women who are in their 50s and their 60s, and now we're living longer, right?
Yes.
Longer. And so my concern is not necessarily living longer, but living well. And so I want you to come on today to kind of tease out this conversation with me about occupational wellness. Your theme being halftime. It's you're still in the game. And so can you share with us, just from your own personal journey, why is that important to you?
It's important to me because a lot of people look at youth as, oh, if you've discovered the fountain of youth, you're going to go places and things are just going to pop into your life. And they're constantly honing in on the youth, and you see all these advertisements about, oh, getting rid of the wrinkles. And listen,
yeah.
I'm not saying that as a negative, okay? Because I sure be looking at mine going, okay, so that's not a negative. But the one thing that I've noticed, and this is even with myself, that age is a mindset. It's a mindset, okay? And so it's how you look at yourself. And whatever you pour into your mind, it feeds your body. And you begin to respond accordingly, okay? So I was always telling myself and others that I didn't graduate from high school in 76. I was born in 76. And even when I was working and I was getting ready for retirement, I would tell people that I was 37, not that I had been on the job 37 years, only HR knew the truth, And so, and I remember when AARP sent me my card, okay?
Okay.
AARP sent me that card. I was like, I didn't even want to open it. It was like, they done sent me something lethal in the mail, okay?
Yeah, I remember when I got my AARP card, I was excited.
Yes.
And listen, and I signed my husband up because I'm 2.5 years older than my husband. And so I turned 50 before he did. And they were giving a special. They were like, you can sign up your spouse for free if you sign up. I signed him up, and so he was like, where am I getting the AARP card? I said, because you're married to me, and I'm 50. And so, listen, he got in on my deal.
Yes. But what the thing is, I had to adjust my mindset. And so the first time I got that card, and I went out to use it, and I had it like tucked in my jacket, and I went, y'all take this. I didn't want nobody to see. Y'all take this. But baby, I will flip that card out because my mom, we used to, whenever, because I was living in Florida and my mother was here in Georgia, and I would come home at least once a month, okay? And our ritual was we would always go to the IHOP. And she would always say, better use that AARP card because you get a discount. I said, Mama, she said, pull out your AARP card. Here, you got one, take mine. And she would be talking loud. And I was like, my mama, no. But I am embracing it because, remember that American Express commercial
Yeah.
that used to, say membership has its privileges?
Yes.
Honey,
Yes.
growing in wisdom, age, and I call aging growing in wisdom. It
Yeah.
has its privileges.
It
Okay.
has its privileges.
It has its privileges. So I had to change my mindset and begin to embrace all of that.
Mm.
And so when I got to 50 and really when I start, when I turned 40, but then as I turned to 50 and now 60, because I'm proud to say that I am 62 years of age. Okay.
Wow, Terri, I love it.
Yes. And so the thing about it is once you embrace it and you change your mindset, you'll be surprised at what you attract.
I love it. Yes, embrace it and change your mindset. And I have some women say to me, I don't tell my age. And I was telling my husband the other day, I said, we live in such a euphemistic society. Everybody wants to be young. Nobody wants to get old. Now, there was a commercial that came on yesterday. We were watching television, and there was a commercial that came on that talked about I'm running. I think it said something about running, outrunning getting old. I'm outrunning getting old. And I told my husband, I'm not trying to outrun getting old, because to me, the alternative to getting old is to die young. That's the alternative. I mean, either you're gonna, and you can age, you can age, and you're gonna get older. That's just a part of life. But you can age and age well.
Yes. Okay. Speaking of this, last week I went to Michigan to celebrate the life of my 43-year-old nephew. Okay. And to have seen him as a baby and now see him lying there in the casket, but and it was due to COVID, okay? And the thing is,
43.
43 and would have been 44 this November. But the thing was, what I saw, because the continuous theme while we were celebrating his life was that he will always show up, okay? No matter what you were celebrating or what you were having, he would always show up. They say if somebody got pregnant and you had a party to celebrate it, he would show up. If when the baby turned 1, you show up, he would show up. When the baby grew the first tooth and you celebrated, he would show up.
Wow.
But when I looked at it, I said it wasn't so much that he would show up, it was how he showed up. Because it was the joy. It was the joy he placed in everybody's life, the joy he brought to everyone's life. Okay.
You just said something there. You dropped something. Now you moving fast, but I want you to stop for a second because you dropped something. You said it wasn't just that he showed up, but it was how he showed up.
That's right. That's right.
That's important.
Always he left that ray of joy there, and that's why so many people showed up even during this pandemic. And of course, we had people that taking taking the temperatures and all of that. But and we're exercising the requirements.
Social distance parameters.
Social distance, exactly. But people, even the minister said, "Pray for me, because this is a difficult one for me."
Wow.
But the thing was, it was, and then you see a letter coming from the mayor's office, and I'm looking at my little Joy did all of this. You just had no idea, because he was never one to boast. He only brought joy. He only came and said, "What can I do for you?"
Wow.
That's how he lived his life. And it was a message for all of us. It's not about just showing up, it's how you show up.
Oh my God, Terri,
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So when we're talking about halftime now, we're talking about you're still in the game,
Yes.
and you're talking, and I love what you're saying here about your nephew and how you show up. And one of the reasons so many people showed up at his service is because of how he showed up for people when he was alive. And what does that say to us about when you're talking to women that are listening to this podcast? What can you tell us about how we should show up?
How you should show up is embracing who you are and embracing those gifts that are inside of you. Because many women, we get to a certain age and we get stuck on that age. We get stuck and we feel like we can't go any further because it's too late. Because society plays a role in that, because we have looked at youth. Everything is about youth. You're too old for this role. Okay. And that's changing, because Hollywood is beginning to embrace. And I say Hollywood, but let me just say the industry, because in Georgia, Hollywood is here.
Listen, one of my members, Tina Gamble, who's one of my members and long-standing members, she's a minister in our church, and she's a personal friend of mine. She actually is a stylist, and she does a lot of freelance work, and where she's an extra in a lot of television shows and movies. Like she's an extra in the what's that, Raising Dion, and some other movies. She's I think the new Superwoman or something like that is coming out. She's gonna be the new Spider-Man movie that's gonna be coming out. She's an extra in that. Well, and she's in her 60s.
That's what I'm saying.
And listen, she is busy since the pandemic. She has had so much work. And one of the things that she and I were talking about a few weeks ago, she was saying that when they look at her, she doesn't look like she's the age that she is, number one. But one of the things that why they keep calling her is because of her age. And she is finding, she's in that halftime, and she's finding a rebirth of herself. And this is an industry that she kind of dibbled and dabbed in for a few years, but now all of a sudden it's like, bam, the door has opened, and I mean, she's embracing it.
But let me tell you,
it's
not just her age; it's the energy that she's bringing. It's the energy. And it goes back to what I was saying, how you show up, okay? Because a lot of people, like when I go places and do things, and people think I'm much younger, And I say no, and when I finally share my age, and they go, no, get out of here, can't believe it, And okay, I'll give you another example. Playing last week, when I was in Michigan, the family, we were all together, and we said, okay, let's play kickball. And I love me some kickball, okay? So, honey, I took that ball, and I went to running, and I ran, and then I fell trying to dodge the ball, right? But then I grabbed the ball, and I threw it as I was getting up. And they were like, everybody started with, Auntie, you at the limit.
Listen, let me tell you something. I know what you're talking about. My son, and my daughter in love, I've been on them about having a baby. I'm like, look, y'all need to come on. They've been married. They're coming up on 2 years, right? They're young. They're in their 20s. And I'm like, I didn't have my son. My oldest son, I was 34 when he was born.
Okay.
And I didn't start having children until I was in my 30s. So Jonathan, I had at 34. Joshua, we adopted 15 months later. And then Ariel, I had it at 36, right? And so I'm like in my 40s with small kids in school, and
Right,
all of my
right.
girlfriends and friends in ministry, particularly, they got grandchildren, and I'll never forget. One of my girlfriends called me one year, and I was on a field trip with I think my daughter, and I'm riding on this school bus with these kids, and I'm like well into my 40s, right? And she, what you doing, girl? I'm on a field trip. And so, because I started late, with children. And so anyway, I told my son a few weeks ago, I said, listen, now you and Jasmine I told Jonathan, I said, you and Jasmine gonna have to come on now with these babies, because I'm gonna be 58 and I want to have some grandchildren while I still got some energy to play with them. He looked at me, he said, Mom, please, says the woman who's flipping tires and jumping rope. He said, I ain't worried, I ain't thinking about you.
I'm telling you, that's how it goes, And the thing about it is, like for me, now, years ago, my father said, you need to put them eggs in the freezer. And I laughed about it. Oh, Dad full of jokes. But didn't realize that is now the thing. And that I probably should have way back in the day, But I realized, and even though as we are approaching Mother's Day and so forth, I realized that you don't have to give birth
to be a mother.
That's
so true. Okay? That's so true.
And like one of my nieces, we are just alike. Chanel Henry, we are just alike. When I was there, honey, she had me doing some TikTok thing, and then she come to me,
you gotta come on TikTok. I'm on TikTok now, and I love it. You gotta come on TikTok, Terri.
Yes, and I just told her, I said, listen, it's all about the mindset. I'm changing my mindset, just doing things with her. But one of the main things that I said that I was going to stop doing, and that is lying about my age.
That's right.
I said,
because it is what it is. When people, I'm so proud of my age. Listen, I did a fitness challenge. And my fitness challenge is dedicated to my 58th birthday. Everything that I got everybody doing, I got everybody doing 58 squats, 58 push-ups, 58 lunges, 58 sit-ups, and it's all in honor of my 58th birthday. I'm happy to be 58 years old.
Love it. And see, and this is what I'm saying, about halftime, because I truly believe that right now, as we speak, that it is only halftime and that I'm still in the game. And so, and the thing is, you got to continue to embrace it, and you can't be embarrassed by it. Just like for me, for that revelation to come to me today that said, Terri, tell your age. Don't be looking and try to make people guess. No, tell it, because what it's going to do, it's going to help somebody else get to that next level. It's going to help them embrace the message that it is only halftime. Because I am a credible witness for the theme. It's only halftime, because I truly believe that I am still in the game. That's how I'm going to show up.
I love it, Terri. I love it. And the energy you bring to everything that you do. I mean, even in our meetings, when we're having our board meetings with women of color and the things that we do, you are just the life of the party. You bring the energy, you bring all of that. And that's why I wanted you to come on this podcast, because there are women that are watching on YouTube. There are women that are listening to this podcast who feel like it's over.
Yes.
They feel like, it's over. What do you think? What has been some of the common struggles that you see women facing at halftime with aging? Why is it that we don't want to tell our age? And why is it that we have a hard time with career changes and career moves and even retirement? What do you think that's about?
That is about letting other people get into your head with their thoughts on how things should be and when you should do things and how you should do it. Okay. And I look at this like, remember when Tom Brady, when he was playing with during the Super Bowl, when he was with the Patriots, and they played Atlanta, and we were at the Super Bowl, and we were ahead. Girl, my family we were celebrating because at halftime we were so excited. We go, we gonna win the Super Bowl. We were so excited. We were just dancing, going on with it. Then at halftime, when they came out of the locker room, Tom Brady didn't even look like the same guy that had gone into the locker room. Neither did the players. And when he walked out, it was like this. He was like this with the guys, with his receivers. It was like this, like, I got you, okay? Next thing you know, he started throwing that ball, and it was connecting. Those receivers were running. They were running every kind of which way. Next thing you know, they were running touchdown, 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 touchdown. We went into 2 overtimes, and who won? The Patriots, okay? Because of the fact that when they went into that locker room, they had this belief, despite what the scoreboard said, despite what the audience was saying, trying to get into their heads, they went in there and they consulted with their coach. And I tell people all the time, come up with a locker room experience in your home.
Yeah.
Your closet, ladies, go into your, fix a little space.
Yeah. Go in your locker. I see it. Go in your locker room.
And go in the locker room and consult with your coach, honey. And when you come out the locker room, you're going to be ready, honey. Ready, armored, ready. Not believing that life is 6. Life is 27 and you 6. No, get that out of your head. When you come out of that locker room, you can still accomplish. You can still be the MVP of your life. You can still win the championship and accomplish your dreams. And that's what Tom Brady taught me that day when I was watching. No, and I shouldn't say taught. He reminded me of that locker room experience that we all can have. That we all can have. Yes.
Terri, you have helped us today. And you know, I'm a preacher, so I have a lot of imagery when I'm talking, and when I hear things, my prophetic imagination just kicks in right here. And so I can just see a locker room experience, you know, for the women at halftime. Go in your locker room, and who should be in your locker room? Your coach. Come on, the people that are speaking life to you, people that always strategize and redirect. Maybe you know, I call it my self-care board of directors. You know, so get your locker room experience. Get your team together.
Get your team together.
People out of your head. Go in your sometimes we got to go inward.
Yes.
Sometimes we got to isolate ourselves, pull ourselves out the game, and then go back into the game and win.
Some people bring negative energy to you, and that's why you got to clear them out. You got to clear them out, honey, because you begin to start believing that stuff. It gets into your head. It gets into your head. And sometimes that's when your mind isn't always your best friend, because you are listening to others that have poured into your mind instead of what your coach has told you in that locker room.
Wow. You know what? You just helped us. I mean, you really did. One of the questions that I was going to ask you was, what should our game plan include when we are preparing for halftime?
Oh, let me give you some.
You laid that out just like that. Going in your locker room, having coaches, mentors, you know, getting negative people out of our head.
That's right. And you know, with the game plan, and let me just give a little bit more information about that game plan, because in my book.
Yeah, talk about your book. I want to put it on the that's right. I see your book, Halftime, You're Still in the Game. That's the name of your book. Where can we get your book?
You can go to Amazon.com.
I'm going today.
Amazon.com and put in Terri Crook. And honey, I always tell people I'm the only legal crook, because I'm the only legal crook on the show today, okay? So you just go in and look. And you know, it's funny because at my nephew's celebration of life, when I stood up and spoke, I said, listen, I usually start off saying I'm the only legal crook in the room, but I can't today, can I, family? So look at those crooks in here today. But go to Amazon.com.
Yes. Oh my God, Terri, you listen, if you're watching or listening to this podcast, go to Amazon, get her book, just put in Terri Crook, Terri, Crook,
Yes.
Crook, and it'll come up. Halftime, you're still in the game. I'm getting that book today because I am in the halftime of my life, and I am having the best experience right now. I'm telling you, Terri, one of my friends called me recently and she said, I can just look at your pictures and tell you something's different about you.
Right.
And I
That's
said,
right.
I've shifted. I
Uh-huh.
have shifted. I've got negative people out of my head.
Yes.
I'm not,
Yes.
I'm not keeping anybody around me that don't believe in what God has called me to do
That's
or
right.
who I am and all of that. I'm not,
Mhm.
I'm good. I'm living until I die. That's my new mantra. I'm living until I die. I tell you, this experience with my mother has taught me something. Caring for my mom and in these days, these last
Mhm.
months and
Mhm.
years of her life,
Mhm.
and God knows we don't know how much longer she's going to be with us because of her
Mhm.
illness, but she
Mhm.
is living until she died, and we are
That's right.
living with her.
Mhm.
We're caring for her, but it's taught me something. I've internalized that mantra,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I have decided I've gone in the locker room and I've come out, and I'm coming out with some wins.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's what you do. And the thing about it is when in my book, it also talks about how to put together a game plan because
Okay.
anytime those football players go on the field, they got a game plan. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to go, at halftime, you're going to have those halftime moments when you got to go in the locker room and rearrange your plan. Because as I stated during that scenario, that the game plan that they had during the first half wasn't working for them. So they had to go in
Wait,
and redo
stop.
it.
You moving so fast, girl. You dropping gems, as they say in Clubhouse. Wait a minute. That game plan you had in the first half is not the game plan you need at halftime and to finish the game.
That's right.
See,
Sometimes you
that's
got to
what
switch it up.
many of us, we need to stop there for a second and think about that because that's where we get tripped up.
Yes.
And we're doing it now. This COVID, this global pandemic that we're in, even as pastors, my husband and I, we've decided that the game plan we had prior to COVID in pastoring our church and leading our church, it's not the same game plan that's going to get us through this pandemic and beyond.
That's right. That's right. You got to switch it up. You can't go by the same game plan because you have reached your halftime moment. Okay. What I wanted to do when I was 20 ain't working for me right now at 60. Okay.
Girl, you about to make me run.
To create a new game plan. All right. Okay.
You're about to make me run. I'm telling you.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying, and I tell you, I learned so much of that from my parents. Both of my parents got their degrees in their 40s. Okay.
Okay.
Me too. My mother got her, and when I say degrees, they're college degrees, and my mother had her leg amputated.
Wow.
In her 50s. Okay. But she didn't let that stop her. She got a prosthesis and she kept on walking. She walked up until she transitioned in 2016. Okay. And we as a family helped her with it because we use humor to help us get through things. So like the first Christmas without her leg, we always did gag gifts. Somebody gave her a plastic leg. And my brother was with the airlines at the time, and he said, "Mom, just remember this. When you take off your leg, you're going to have to put it in overhead when you get on the plane." And it made her laugh. It made her laugh. Okay. And
you know what? And the Bible says laughter doeth good like a medicine.
Yes.
A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. And you do know, even with my mom, that where we are with mom, there have been some real sad moments, but then we found reasons and ways to laugh.
Yes.
We found this stuff and she'll laugh at herself. We'll laugh with her. We laugh at ourselves. Yeah. You have to laugh to keep from crying sometimes, but that helps us get through it.
That's right. Because each day that we wake up and we inhale and we exhale, that's a gift. That's a gift.
Yes.
So as parents or anyone that gives a gift, we're excited when someone's excited for that gift. Don't you know, if we are made of God's image, that just like we get excited, he gets excited too, okay? So we should wake up every morning excited for this gift of life and the gifts that he's given us, okay? And many people, after the age of 40, they forget about the gift that they had. In fact, they have tucked it in because they let other things get in the way. They either got married and they focused on the marriage. They had kids and they put all their energies in the kids. They focused on their careers because they tried to climb, like me, climb. Or you were fortunate enough to take care of your parents, like I did, like you're doing, and many others out there, taking care of their parents until you have tucked your aspirations away. But it's time to go into that safe and pull it out.
Oh my!
Pull it out. It's time to unpack it. It's time, because it's okay that you served. It's okay. The kids are gone now. Okay. Now it's about you. It's about you and your dreams. Okay.
Yeah. I was telling you, I was telling Bishop the other day, I said, I want to get when I turn 60, I want to get a new car. And so I had been saying I wanted to get me like a little sports car or something like that. And then I saw a SUV. And so I was telling Bishop, I said, well, you know what? Maybe I won't get the sports car. I'll get the SUV car. It was, I can't remember. It was which brand of it was. But anyway, so one of our members who is a car dealer, he works for a luxury car line. And so I called him and asked him what he know about this SUV. And he said, Dr. Toni, we're not getting you no SUV. You'd have been a soccer mom. You'd have been the driving the kids to school mom, all that kind of stuff. He said, at 60, we getting you a convertible. I said, okay.
That's right.
He said, you've been there, done that. We're not doing that no more. We're going to find you a nice convertible Mercedes or something like that. He said, because you're at a different stage in your life. And I said, know what? You're right.
And you begin to embrace that. Right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Because it's your time now. And it's not to say that you won't be that now. Yes. It won't, and it's not to say that you won't be that loving grandmother when it's time. But right now, you're looking at what the clock says right now. The clock says right now, it's about you. Okay, so enjoy you. Do all the things that you want to do, because it's halftime. The babies will come, you'll shift, but right now, shift to you. Wait a minute. Let me write that down. Shift to you, girl. You are us. I got an exclamation point behind that. Oh my Lord. Yeah, you gotta throw that ball to you. Throw that ball to you, honey. Yes, throw that ball to you.
Oh my God. Terri, I'm telling you, you have helped us today. I don't want you to give away all the nuggets because I want them to go buy your book.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't want you to give away all the nuggets on this show. Maybe we'll have to bring you back and have a part 2. I do have you coming. Those of you all that are watching, just listen out, because we got some other stuff that's happening later on. I'm not going to spill all the tea right here, but just stay with us, because we got some other things that we're going to be doing later on this year, and that the podcast will be hosting, the Self-Care Network will be hosting. Let me stop and do a little commercial right here. But Terri is going to be back with us a little later on, because we've got some things that we're going to be doing later on, and I'll tell you a little bit later what that's going to be. So you just got to follow Dr. Toni, you got to follow Terri, and you'll find out what we're doing, right? Okay. But I do want to just do a little commercial. I want to stop here and just if you're tuning in for just now for the first time, you are listening to or watching the Harmonize Your Life Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast with your host, Dr. Toni. G. Alvarado. You can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Google, on Spotify. You can also watch the podcast on YouTube. You can also watch us on YouTube, and I want you to do that because I'm trying to get my YouTube channel up. I'm trying to get more subscribers and more viewers on our YouTube channel. So please go to my YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and you'll get notifications when videos are uploaded there. You'll be able to follow. All of the podcast series is available on my YouTube channel. You can listen to it as you're walking through the park and in your car or walking around the house doing your housework. Put your headphones on and you can listen through Anchor and all those other platforms, but you can watch. Some of you all like to watch and you like to see facial expressions and all that. So you can watch us on YouTube and all of that is there. It's still the month of May and we are in our fitness challenge. Go to my website at drtonialvarado.com and sign up for the fitness challenge. I told you earlier, I'm doing a fitness challenge. 58 push-ups, 58 lunges, 58 sit-ups or crunches, and 58, what was the other thing? Squats, 58 squats. And we're walking, for those in the moderate level, we're walking 5,800 steps a day. Or if you're advanced like me, we're walking 10,058 steps, all in honor of my 58th birthday. And as Terry said, tell your age. Don't be ashamed of your age. You can also get the Harmony Fitness apparel there. You can go to my website and order your Harmony Fitness apparel. I've launched a fitness apparel line, and you can go there because you can be cute while you're walking, and you can have on your workout leggings that say self-care or Harmony, or you can get your Harmony t-shirt. You can even get your bling t-shirt. And I now have the Live Until You Die t-shirt. It's available there. My guest today is Terri Crook. She is our guest today, and she has her book that I want you to go and support. Go to Amazon, get her book, Halftime. You're still in the game. Halftime. You can follow Terri on her website at terricrook.com. I want you to go there and follow her. You can find her on Facebook at Terri Crook. She's there on Facebook. She's on Instagram at terri.crook, and she's on Twitter at Terri Crook 5. I want to make sure that you can follow her. She is a phenomenal motivational speaker. Bring her to your event. Bring her to your women's conference. Let her talk, even in this virtual environment. Bring her in on Zoom and let her talk to your women's groups and empower. She is an empowerer of women. And she is my sister. She is my president of the Women of Color Empowerment Institute Atlanta chapter. And I am so delighted to have her in the podcast studio with me today. Terri, what last thing? I'm going to come out for a minute and make you the center of, bring you in closer. I'm going to come out and I want you to just give some final words of encouragement for those who are in halftime and those who are preparing for halftime. Will you do that for us?
Sure. Everybody, I want you to lean in on this. Despite your age or your circumstances, it is not too late to accomplish the things that you were placed on this earth to do, okay? You get my book so I can help you come up with that game plan. You can even reach out to me after you get the book and you need some consults. You need someone to consult with you to help you develop that game plan. Just reach out to me. Go to www.terricrook.com and I will help you. But one thing you have to realize, despite your age or your circumstances, it's not about the time it takes to get there. It's about taking the time to get there. Why? Because it is only halftime, baby, and you are still in the game. I'm looking for you. Looking for you.
Girl, wait a minute. You said it's not. I'll write this down because, I have to be able to go back and tell them what you talked about today. So it's not about
the time. It's not about the time it takes to get there. It's about taking the time to get there.
Oh, my God. It's about taking the time
to get there. Mm-hmm.
Wow. You know what? We can close on that. That's it. That is a wrap. I want you to know that, Terri, you have helped us today on this podcast. I know that anybody, man or woman,
That's
woman
right.
or man, listening to us today, whether you are in halftime or you're preparing for halftime,
Mm-hmm.
I know that Terri Crook can help you with your game plan. And I want you to look her up. I want you to listen. You got to go in that locker room.
Yes.
And you need a game plan. And you got to have some coaching.
Yes.
Coaches help us with our game plan.
Mm-hmm.
One of my things, I'm a coach. I'm a professional coach, leadership coach. I coach women, particularly now in the area of health and wellness.
Yes.
Because what good is it? Some of us won't make it to halftime because we're not healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. And so please, please take advantage of women like Terri and myself and others that you've heard on this podcast series, because we can help you make it to halftime and thrive and win your game. Okay? All right. We'll see you all next week on the Harmonize Your Life Conversations on Self-Care for Women of Color podcast. Be blessed. Hi, this is Dr. Toni Alvarado. I am so delighted about bringing the Harmonize Your Life podcast to you. Would you do me a favor? If you are enjoying this podcast, would you email me at hello@drtonyalvarado.com? I want to hear from you. I want your feedback. I want to know if there are any other topics that you are interested in as it relates to wellness, self-care, nutrition, or just overall bringing harmony into your life. Email me, contact me at hello@drtonyalvarado.com.